What's up, everyone? This is Corey from the OverLook, and we go over the books you may have overlooked. After speaking with a lot of people in the community, we have decided to create a second channel, the OverLook Media. In the future, this is where you can find all of our TV and movie reviews, as well as our Sunday morning comics and coffee. This way, we can make this channel strictly about comic audiobooks. Remember, if you enjoy any of these stories, leave us a comment or a like. YouTube is all about interaction these days, so now that we're turning this into a full-time endeavor, we need you guys more than ever. Anyway, thanks for listening. In New York City, around 12:37 a.m., there is a scream that pierces the night. A man and a woman slowly step backwards until their backs hit the end of the alleyway. Closing in on them are a number of gang members, each with dollar signs painted on the back of their jackets and weapons in hand. The man throws his wallet down and pleads for the gang members to spare the two of them. At that moment, Cloak and Dagger arrive. With a blast of distorted dark energy, Dagger knocks out one of the gang members. Currently, Cloak and Dagger have had their powers inverted. Cloak, now in all white, uses the light as his power source. Dagger, however, uses the darkness, and she needs to feed to survive. Suddenly, Spider-Man jumps into the alleyway only a few feet away from Cloak and Dagger. He then leaps forward and hits Dagger with a strike to the jaw, knocking her out. Cloak is too slow to react. He just stands there, in confusion. Later, in Hell's Kitchen, around 4:12 a.m., a couple of workers unload a transportation truck full of frozen fish into a small restaurant. It's best for them to make these deliveries before work hours. It keeps the fish from going bad. It's a mundane job, but it keeps the bills paid. Suddenly, Spider-Man and Daredevil come crashing out of an upper window. They throw punches at one another in mid-air, and Spider-Man easily gains the advantage. He adjusts both their weight so Daredevil lands on his back, and Spider-Man lands safely on top of him. About half an hour later, around 5:07 a.m., Steve Rogers watches as the newscast shows footage of Spider-Man fighting other heroes again. Jarvis joins him with Steve's morning tea and biscuits. "Good morning, Captain," he says politely. "I wish it was, Jarvis. We put Spider-Man on probation with the Avengers after some recent behavior. It looks like we didn't go far enough. Shall I send out the call, sir?" "Yes. Avengers assemble." "This is Captain America. To all Avengers, here's what we know. For weeks, we've been noticing a change in attitude within Spider-Man. He's become belligerent, arrogant, even antagonistic. He's had negative run-ins with the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, even Thor. But then, things escalated. After troubling rumors about the death of the supervillain named Massacre at Spider-Man's hands, Spider-Man was captured on film savagely beating fairly harmless pranksters named Screwball and Jester. The Avengers brought Spider-Man in for questioning, at which point he engaged us. We were able to confirm that it was indeed Spider-Man we were dealing with. But there was no doubt that something has changed. Black Widow believes he's having a hard time with the recent death of an ally And finally, the events in Shadowland are forcing us to look at Spider-Man and how he operates in a whole new light. So, the mission is clear. We have to take down Spider-Man before another line is crossed. At 6:34 a.m., the superhero, known as Gravity, is speeding through the streets, desperate to get away. As he passes, the cars on the street are pulled up from the ground. It doesn't matter, he thinks. He needs to get away. But then, out of nowhere, he is stopped mid-flight by a spider's web, sprawling in between two large buildings. A well-placed trap. Soon after, Spider-Man arrives, carrying some kind of rifle. He approaches Gravity and fixes his aim, but ultimately, he decides not to shoot. At 7:42, Spider-Man is fighting Luke Cage and the Iron Fist. Cage is easy enough to outsmart. The Iron Fist, however, his fighting skills hold as a mild challenge at best. Next, at 8:39, Spider-Man confronts Sun Girl. At 9:50, Spider-Man is ripping Moon Knight's weapons out of the air as they jump from rooftop to rooftop. At 10:26, he punches Doctor Strange in the middle of a hospital. At 11:46 a.m., Spider-Man touches down at the Baxter Building, home of the Fantastic Four and Future Foundation. Ant-Man, Miss Thing, She-Hulk, and Medusa are the current members residing within. The original four are elsewhere, leaving these knockoffs to look over the building. The Future Foundation, for all intents and purposes, can be seen as a school for gifted children. Amongst them is Bentley 23, the 23rd clone of Bentley Whitman, the villain known as the Wizard. It is easy enough for Spider-Man to dodge Medusa's hair and She-Hulk's slow and predictable punches. It is even easier to knock out the inexperienced Miss Thing. They are an afterthought. Spider-Man sets his sights on Ant-Man. Spider-Man grabs onto Ant-Man and pins him against the wall before quickly becoming angry and throwing the hero aside. At 11:59, Spider-Man leaves the Baxter Building through the rooftop. Spider-Man uses the eyes of his thousands of Spider-Bots, as well as the less dependable eyes of his employed Spiderlings, to aid him. Scan! Route all Spider-Bot cameras to the lenses! Come on. Come on. Where are you? Spider-Man! A voice booms from behind. Before he even turns around, Otto already knows who it is. This is inconvenient, he sighs. In this moment, Otto Octavius curses the name Spider-Man. As Dr. Octopus, he would have reveled in this day. One by one, he has taken the measure of New York's superheroes and found them wanting. At least, until this moment. The Avengers have arrived. Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Thor, Hulk, Captain Marvel, and Hyperion all cast a shadow on Spider-Man. He reacts before the first attack. Spider-Man jumps to the side and dodges Thor's lightning. He also dodges Hawkeye's arrow, but it cuts away Spider-Man's rifle. Hulk smashes down to keep Spider-Man off balance enough for Captain America to strike him in the abdomen with his shield. Both Hulk and Thor grab Spider-Man's arms in order to keep him in place. He's stronger than they expected. "You idiots!" Spider-Man spits. "Let me go now!" Captain America tells him, "Settle down. No one wants this to get uglier than it already is. You're putting everyone in danger. All of you need to leave this place." Captain America squints his eyes. "Explain yourself." Iron Man adds, "If there was danger, we'd know about it. From what I can see, the only danger here is you." "Stark, you arrogant! Your armor, its filters should keep the virus out. It'll want to target you." "Me? Why me? I'm a friend of viruses." "Because if it were me, I'd target you too. Whatever you do, don't open your faceplate." "No offense," Stark responds, lifting up his faceplate to reveal a computer screen. The suit is being controlled remotely. "But unless there is a computer virus, I think I'm going to be okay." However, as a precaution, Iron Man scans everyone in the vicinity. Everyone comes up clean, except Hyperion. Hyperion, whom is some kind of superior man from another universe. His power is beyond most men's comprehension. And now, he's been taken over by the virus. His eyes glow red, and within an instant, Hyperion shoots his heat vision at Iron Man, destroying the armor with ease. He then aims his sights on Spider-Man. Hyperion shoots another pair of beams, but Spider-Man dodges it, and the heat vision hits Hulk, causing him to loosen his grip. Thor lets go of Spider-Man and, with a battle cry, flies into the air and chases after Hyperion. Hawkeye and Black Widow focus fire on Hyperion, but their range attacks don't even distract their target. Hyperion knocks back Thor with one arm. Captain Marvel swoops in for the assist. Spider-Man grabs Captain America's shoulder, telling him, "I had this handled, and then you interfered. To think that you put me on probation." "Enough. What's happening here?" "That invincible oaf has been possessed by a sentient virus, the carrion virus. It's been hopping from superhero to superhero all day. I detected it early, and I've been tracking it." "Down!" Captain America yells as he raises his shield, blocking Hyperion's next attack. Hyperion follows up with a blast of his heat vision that burns so hot the building top ignites in flames. Captain America throws down a smoke grenade, giving Spider-Man cover. He tells the captain, "I've designed a weapon that can destroy the virus. The carrion knows it. It's been running from me." "What do you need?" "Time." "You'll have it." Being right all the time can be a burden. Captain America's smoke bomb is an admittedly decent idea. But Hyperion, he can see through walls. He can do anything. And as Otto sprints back to his weapon, he realizes Hyperion can't be beat. Luckily, Thor is back in the fight. Thor strikes Hyperion with a massive bolt of lightning that sends the foe crashing to the ground. Hulk follows up by grabbing Hyperion and slamming him again into the ground before holding him up for Captain Marvel to attack. But still, Hyperion can't be stopped. Hyperion's face distorts into something wicked, and he just laughs with glee. He tells the Avengers that they are nothing compared to Hyperion, and soon he will be bonded with Hyperion forever. His face, what is that? Captain Marvel asks. That's Carrion, Spider-Man tells her. I'm going to shoot him now. Carrion tells them if he dies, Hyperion dies, and Captain America stops Spider-Man from shooting. Stop, he tells him. He's lying. How can you be so sure? There's no time for this. You know what's at stake. An Avenger's life. Everyone's life. You know me, Cap. Spider-Man reminds him. Trust me. Do it. The weapon works, and Hyperion is returned to his former self. Spider-Man tells the team, I built this machine to destroy the carrion virus this morning in about 17 minutes. The survival of the host was a secondary consideration. It just so happens I'm that good. The virus? Captain America asks. Gone. And someone created this thing. Yes, an old enemy. One that I'll deal with. Captain America admits, I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have doubted you. About your probation. Probation? Oh, you were serious about that. Adorable. It's been a long day, gentlemen. If you need me to save you all again, call me. Later, under Battery Park, within a former secret base of Dr. Octopus, Spider-Man stands amongst his captive foes. The Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, his so-called friends and allies. Otto has won their trust now. They will accept the new him, and, in truth, when faced with a being of Hyperion's power, Otto saw the value of being part of a team. Just not that team. Otto requires his own team. A superior team. Elsewhere, Carrion arrives at an abandoned chemical factory. Spider-Man's weapon was extremely effective. It took me hours to reform. He will have to be dealt with if you want to proceed, he tells the man with green fur. But did you have fun? The man asks. My dear Carrion, dealing with Spider-Man is exactly what we're doing next. On to phase 2. It's phase 3, Jackal, says a begrudging clone of Miles Warren. On to phase 3. Let's go kill Spider-Man.